how we pay for this is going to be important. You already have some pushback by Democrats who are worried that, blue state families, a lot of them upper middle class families, are going to bear the brunt for paying for this package. So this is not going to be like these sort of other pandemic relief bills where Democrats are basically completely unified in what to do, because it was pretty easy. It was just about spending money. When you have to start thinking hard about how to pay for it, assuming we're still going to pay for some of this, those decisions become a lot harder, which is why, what I've been talking to people, what I've been stressing is that this is going to be harder. It's going to be sort of a bloodier political fight, and we shouldn't just naturally assume all this happens just the way that President Biden will outline later today.
Well, these are big numbers. I wonder, do we have any idea how they got to these numbers? I mean, listen, American infrastructure stinks. We've talked about this for years, Jimmy. I've been talking about this for 20 years. I mean, D- on roads and bridges, potholes, hubcaps, they still make them, flying off cars. It costs more to repair your car than to pay slightly more in gas taxes, but nobody wants to do that. But how do we come up with the $3 trillion? Like, where does that number come from? Do we know?
Well, my concern with these kind of bills always is when the politicians start talking about all the jobs it will create. That's really not how you should do these bills, figure out how many jobs we would like to create over the next 10 years. It is really to look at the kinds of projects that are going to give us the biggest return. How those projects are picked probably shouldn't really be done from Washington by the White House. They should probably be done at the local level. Ideally, a lot of the funding would really be better if done at the local level. But I realize that's sort of where we're at in American politics, where it's going to be Washington going to borrow a lot of money, some tax increases, and a lot of corrections are going to be sort of top down. But what I would not do is take the most apocalyptic estimates from, say, civil engineer trade groups and say that's how much infrastructure investment we need.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about how to pay for it. We in New Jersey have something called tolls, right? And, they seem to never go down. They go up. That pays for some of it. And I know the president's going to talk about, corporate taxes and higher taxes on other people, right? Most people don't make a lot of money. So he's going to say, we're going to go after the money. Let's just talk about the money, because the money's not there. And that's not my opinion. Let's just go through this. Tax Foundation thinks we'll make about $300 billion in government receipts from corporate taxes. So if you raise it from 21 to 28, 7% jump, let's call 7% jump on 300. So $21 billion more per year in corporate taxes. 3.5% of American households make more than $400,000. Most of those are not much more than that. They're kind of like in the $500,000 or $600,000 range. So maybe you make, I don't know, $30 billion more a year, which is a lot of money, but not when you're spending $400 billion more a year. I mean, that's just the math. Where's the rest come from? Or is it just deficit spending?
Bingo. It's going to be the deficit spending.
I hit bingo?
Yeah, we've got a lot of deficit spending. Listen, this deficit, if we're going to pass anything like that, that's exactly what we're going to do. As you said, even paying partially for this is going to be difficult, because Democrats do not want to raise taxes. Frankly, Republicans don't either. They don't want to raise taxes at anyone. They can even be broadly considered the middle class. And if you were really going to do this, you would probably be raising taxes on those people, whether it's higher gas taxes, some sort of congestion fees, vehicle mileage taxes, a consumption tax. All those options would raise taxes on a lot more people. And it's also profoundly weird to be worried about we're not investing enough in the United States and then be really fairly sharply raising corporate taxes, certainly as compared to, other rich countries.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.